Highgate Cemetery in North London is a place of beauty and mystery, where the past whispers through the trees and the present stands still. Established in 1839, it was one of London's Magnificent Seven, a group of large private cemeteries created to alleviate the overcrowding in the city's churchyards. These large cemeteries provided a much-needed solution to the dire problem of overcrowded and unsanitary churchyards, which had become a health hazard. Highgate Cemetery quickly became a fashionable place to be buried, attracting the elite and the famous of Victorian society. Its Egyptian Avenue and Circle of Lebanon are stunning examples of Victorian funerary architecture, showcasing the era's fascination with ancient cultures and elaborate design. The cemetery is divided into two parts, the east and the west, each with its own unique character and charm. The East Cemetery is open to the public, inviting visitors to explore its historic graves and monuments. Visitors can wander among the grand tombs and winding paths, discovering the stories of those who rest there. The West Cemetery, however, is only accessible by guided tour, preserving its more secluded and mysterious atmosphere. This adds to the air of mystery and intrigue as guides share tales of the cemetery's most famous residents and hidden corners. Highgate Cemetery fell into disrepair in the 20th century as changing burial practices and financial difficulties led to its neglect. Years of neglect took their toll, leaving many tombstones and monuments in a state of decay. But this only enhanced the cemetery's eerie atmosphere, making it a place of haunting beauty and quiet reflection. Overgrown ivy and crumbling tombs create a haunting landscape that captivates visitors and photographers alike. The cemetery has been featured in many films and TV shows, adding to its mystique and allure. It's a popular destination for those interested in the macabre, history enthusiasts, and those seeking a peaceful retreat from the bustling city. Highgate Cemetery is more than just a burial ground. It is a repository of stories, a testament to the lives and times of those who came before us. It is a place of history, legend, and enduring fascination where the past and present coexist in a delicate balance, inviting all who visit to pause and reflect. In the 1960s, whispers of strange occurrences began to circulate. Locals reported seeing a tall, dark figure lurking among the tombs. Animals were found drained of blood. The stories spread quickly, tapping into a primal fear of the unknown. Could it be true? Was there something sinister lurking in Highgate Cemetery? Some whispered of a vampire. The rumours gained momentum. People recalled old legends of witchcraft and black magic associated with Highgate Hill. The stories grew more elaborate with each telling. The Highgate Vampire became a fixture of local folklore. These stories might have remained local legends, but then something happened that thrust Highgate Cemetery into the national spotlight. In 1969, a young woman claimed to have seen a horrifying sight. She was walking home late at night, the air thick with an eerie silence. Walking past the cemetery, she saw a grey figure. It was unlike anything she had ever seen before, a spectral presence that sent chills down her spine. It hovered above the ground, defying the laws of nature. The figure seemed to float effortlessly, as if it were weightless. The figure then darted through a wall, vanishing into the cemetery. It disappeared as quickly as it had appeared, leaving her in a state of shock. Her story, shared with local newspapers, sparked a wave of similar accounts. People from all over the area began to report their own encounters with the mysterious figure. People described a tall figure dressed in black. It was always seen wearing a long, flowing cloak that seemed to blend into the darkness. It had glowing red eyes. These eyes were said to pierce through the night, glowing with an unnatural light. Some said it was a man. They described a tall, imposing figure with a menacing presence. Others claimed it was a woman. They spoke of a figure with a haunting beauty, yet equally terrifying. All agreed that it exuded an aura of pure evil. The very sight of it was enough to instill fear in the hearts of those who saw it. The Highgate Vampire, as it came to be known, had captured the public's imagination. The legend grew with each retelling, becoming more elaborate and terrifying. The stories became increasingly sensational. Newspapers and television broadcasts competed to deliver the most shocking accounts. The media, eager for a good story, fanned the flames of fear. Reporters flocked to Highgate Cemetery, hoping to catch a glimpse of the infamous figure. Highgate Cemetery became synonymous with the supernatural. It was no longer just a resting place for the dead, but a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill-seekers alike. One chilling account came from a group of teenagers. They claimed to have seen the vampire standing over a freshly dug grave. The vampire turned its glowing eyes towards them. The terrified teenagers fled. Another story told of a man who felt an icy hand on his shoulder. He turned to see the vampire standing behind him. Its eyes burned with an unholy light. The man fainted. When he awoke, the vampire was gone. These stories, whether true or not, added to the growing legend of the Highgate Vampire. People were both terrified and fascinated. The legend of the Highgate Vampire is a potent reminder of the power of fear and the enduring allure of the unknown. Section 5. David Farrant and Sean Manchester, the Vampire Hunters. Two men became central to the Highgate Vampire saga, David Farrant and Sean Manchester. Their names would become synonymous with the eerie tales that surrounded the Highgate Cemetery. Farrant, a local psychic researcher, believed the vampire was a powerful, evil entity. He was convinced that this malevolent force was responsible for the strange occurrences and sightings reported by locals. He claimed to have encountered it on numerous occasions. This is David Farrant. His encounters were often described in vivid detail, adding to the chilling atmosphere of the legend. Manchester, a self-proclaimed vampire hunter, arrived on the scene declaring his intention to hunt down and destroy the vampire. He brought with him an array of vampire hunting tools, including crosses and wooden stakes. Their rivalry was as legendary as the vampire itself. The tension between them was palpable, each man determined to prove the other wrong. They publicly denounced each other, each claiming to be the true authority on the Highgate Vampire. Their debates often made headlines, capturing the public's imagination. Their feud culminated in a series of dramatic confrontations within the cemetery walls. These confrontations were often witnessed by curious onlookers and reported in the media. Both men claimed to have performed rituals to exorcise the vampire. These rituals were shrouded in mystery and often conducted under the cover of night. The media had a field day. Sensational headlines and dramatic stories kept the public enthralled, turning the Highgate Vampire saga into a cultural phenomenon. Section 6. Media frenzy. Highgate Vampire grips the nation. The Highgate Vampire became a national obsession. Newspapers ran daily stories on the latest sightings and the escalating feud between Farrant and Manchester. Television crews flocked to the cemetery, hoping to capture footage of the vampire or the vampire hunters. The stories spread beyond British shores. Newspapers and magazines around the world picked up the tale of the Highgate Vampire. It became a global phenomenon. Tourists flocked to Highgate Cemetery, hoping for a glimpse of the creature that haunted its grounds. The media frenzy reached its peak in the 1970s. However, interest in the Highgate Vampire never truly faded. Section 7. Famous names among the stone's eternal residents of Highgate. The Highgate Vampire isn't the only notable presence in the cemetery. Over the years, it has become the final resting place for many famous and influential people. Among the grand tombs and crumbling headstones lie the remains of individuals who left their mark on the world. One of the most well-known residents is Karl Marx, the philosopher and economist. His imposing tomb is a popular destination for visitors from around the world. Other notable figures buried at Highgate include novelist George Eliot, scientist Michael Faraday, and artist Lucian Freud. These individuals, in their own right, add to the mystique of Highgate Cemetery. Section 8. A cemetery's beauty, decay and nature intertwined. Despite the spooky reputation, Highgate Cemetery possesses a unique beauty. Nature has reclaimed much of the grounds. Trees grow between graves, their roots cracking tombstones. Ivy clings to mausoleums, obscuring inscriptions and adding to the air of mystery. The decaying grandeur of the Victorian monuments stands in stark contrast to the vibrant life that surrounds them. Sunlight filters through the canopy, casting dappled shadows on the moss-covered pathways. Birdsong fills the air, a stark counterpoint to the silence of the graves. Highgate Cemetery, with its eerie beauty and haunting atmosphere, is a photographer's dream. Section 9. Highgate's enduring allure, a place of mystery and fascination. While the media frenzy has long since subsided, Highgate Cemetery remains a place of enduring fascination. People are still drawn to its eerie beauty, its historical significance, and of course, its association with the supernatural. Guided tours are always fully booked, as visitors from around the world come to hear the tales of the Highgate Vampire and other ghostly residents. Books and documentaries continue to explore the legends and mysteries surrounding the cemetery. Highgate Cemetery has secured its place in popular culture as a place where the veil between the living and the dead seems especially thin. The enduring fascination with Highgate Cemetery lies in our own mortality. Section 10. Conclusion: the legend lives on. Whether the Highgate Vampire is real or simply a product of overactive imaginations, it continues to captivate the public imagination. The legend serves as a reminder of our fascination with the unknown, our fear of the dark, and our enduring belief in the supernatural. Highgate Cemetery, with its crumbling tombs, overgrown pathways, and haunting atmosphere, provides the perfect backdrop for such tales. It is a place where history, legend, and imagination intertwine. And as long as people whisper tales of the Highgate Vampire, the legend will live on.